so bad.
Everybody's gonna know where we live, like directions.
It's been such a long car ride.
That's staying in.
3 cups of soda.
That's staying in. That might be the intro for the video. Alright, well, we are on our way back from Too Many Games. Overall, first impressions. Not really first impressions, but you could sum it up in one word. What would you say? Too Many Games.
Zan. Awkward. Is this Zan Griffin? What? Is it Zan Griffin? Zan Griffin? Or Zans, as putting on the dog people call me? I sum it up in one word. That's kind of hard.
Alright, well, just give me your...
It'd be awkward.
Alright, fine.
Awkward but nice. I mean, it's like nerds. They're awkward but
so
nice.
Your overall... How about just your overall impression of the convention?
So, Too Many Games was a really good panel to, like, are we talking about, like, panel
We're
or
talking
just
about the
overall
convention as a whole.
It was open. It was calm. There were really good vendors. Good deals on stuff.
Okay.
What's your impression?
I would say it was great. I mean, it was more my style of convention in that it was more my kind of people. Well, it was gamers.
Nice but awkward.
Yeah, nice but awkward. Exactly. You're the worst. No, but like it was the after party and all these things, and we'll talk about these more like my style of things. You know, it was smaller too, which was kind of nice. So I enjoyed the kind of closer atmosphere and the people who seemed to be more open to talking and engaging with other people. There's a lot more entertainment for you as like a con goer with all the games and things.
Yeah.
That was cool. What about you, Sarah?
Don't look at the man behind the curtain.
Oh, no? Alright, fine. Alright, so let's talk venue.
Venue.
What did you think about the Greater Philadelphia?
The Greater Philadelphia Expo Hall.
Yep.
But I've been there before. It was an interesting hall because it is for smaller conventions that can kind of spread out a little bit.
Okay.
Good parking.
Yeah, parking was great.
Really easy parking. It was interesting that they had the con split up into tournaments, which were official tournaments, I believe it was.
Oh, you mean
where they were in a different hall altogether?
Yeah. Well, the actual, like, the Smash Brothers and those tournaments were happening, right, like, where we were.
Those didn't seem very organized if they were tournaments.
Yeah. So, yeah, the venue parking was, like, not a lot around.
Not
like,
a lot
if you
around,
wanted food and not have to wait and pay con prices.
Yeah.
Although there was putting on the dog.
Putting on the dog was really good.
Hot dog place and milkshakes.
Yeah, milkshakes.
Milkshakes are good.
They were good milkshakes. Dog was alright.
Yeah, it was only
The presence of the enforcers, though, that was the other thing, is there wasn't a lot of, like, authority.
Yeah.
The defenders.
Yeah, the Too Many Games defenders.
Which is a clear ripoff of PAX East.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know, I've never been to Texas. So.
Too Many Games are defenders, PAX East are enforcers.
Okay. Which was actually a mistake that Sarah just made, so I guess that just proves that it's kind of a rip-off. They were like 14-year-old kids.
Yeah.
They were all younger than us. None of them could drink.
And none of them could drink, and they were like meek, nerdy 14-year-olds.
Yeah,
so they had no like let's wrap this up and get out, you know.
Yeah. He was like, so he's 10 minutes.
He's running
over time. I'm gonna give him 5 more minutes, and then I'm gonna ask him to wrap it up. And that's like 15 minutes after your panel started.
Yeah.
So it seemed like there needed to be a community manager figure there, because I didn't see anyone that was actually controlling their volunteers.
Yeah.
Unless that was done behind the scenes.
I don't know. The only time they seemed to have any kind of authority, and it wasn't even them, was at the after party, which was like, we need to go because we need to leave the venue. So yeah, overall the location, it worked. It was kind of the layout of everything was I would say it was fairly well kind of organized. You had like the console gaming in the back, and you had the arcade, which was kind of pitiful. next to it, which was just like 4 arcade cabinets.
That was a little sad. I mean, the arcade cabinets were a little sad, but I like the setup of the other games.
The console games were great.
Console games
had pretty good variety of games.
Stay towards 76 East.
Alrighty.
You see signs for Philadelphia? Go towards Philadelphia.
Alrighty, I can do that. They had the indie game section, which was pretty cool with all the indie games.
That was pretty cool.
But there was, you know, and again, they're indie game people, so I get it. But there wasn't a ton of options to play. Like if somebody was really into one of the games, you were gonna just wait.
Yeah.
Like we saw with the Grim Bros game, we could never get there.
Which was sad because I wanted to. I don't think that's actually production, like actual production.
No.
Yeah. I didn't see a setup for it.
Then they had you kind of had like the board game section where you could like sit down and play games, which was fairly expansive. There was a lot of people using it.
They had a board game library too, which was pretty cool. I never saw anyone running the board game library.
No, I think they were just kind of there.
I think they were just stacked up, like
hopefully nobody steals.
Honor system style.
Yeah. About the vendors in general.
The vendors. A lot of cool artists.
Yeah.
And not like just specific artists, I mean like craft artists.
Yeah, a lot of that.
Yeah, a lot of that. There were some staples that you've seen like at bigger conventions, which was kind of interesting. Like Geek Boy Press was there. The Super Sock Shop was there.
Yeah. Which was pretty cool.
And I've seen both of those people at like bigger conventions. So I overall the vendors were pretty good. You found the Castlevania 2.
Yes, I did find Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest in the box still. I got it for $20.
Which isn't bad at all, especially because you wanted to get it signed.
Exactly. There was obviously a lot of games. There was an import section.
How many games were there?
There were, I would say, more than some. I guess I would say at least too many.
Too many games.
Too many.
Were there too many games?
No, not too many.
Oh.
Just too many.
Just too many games.
Too many games.
Okay.
The panels, there's only 2 panel rooms and then a concert hall. Which I kind of like the layout of the concert hall because there's like a big garage door.
But it did smell like a garage.
It smelled like a garage, yeah.
It smelled like diesel fuel.
It smelled like a garage full of sweaty men.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it was nice because you could just,
Pop
there were bands playing all day.
Yeah.
And you could just walk in, check out the band for a little bit, and then just leave, which
that
we
was
did.
the concert venue. So as I was saying before, the concert venue was really interesting because it showed a lot of talent, specifically video game talent that probably doesn't have a lot of opportunity to shine. I feel like it's probably pretty easy to sign up to become part of that concert hall experience.
Yeah. The concert hall was nice. The panel rooms, there was a big one and a small one. They both had projectors, which is important in panels. They felt a little more closed off to me because some people shut the doors, some people didn't. But I felt like you were interrupting if you wanted to go into a panel it was already going.
Yeah, because the venue where the panel halls were originally they're conference room spaces. So crappy art on the wall.
Such crappy art on the wall.
Yeah.
Did we all notice that? Weird grandma art.
Yeah, weird corporate art, and kind of rearrangeable space. There was even drop panels ceiling. Yeah. So it's very obviously a corporate space that they kind of repurposed for a panel room. But it was really friendly and opening.
How about the chairs?
The chairs sucked.
They were crappy metal wrestling folding chairs.
They were not comfortable at all.
They were not, yeah.
So I fell asleep every panel.
Every panel was an hour long, so you have to sit in these terrible chairs for an hour long.
I guess if you want to follow up with that, they did not allow setup and breakdown time.
No setup and
any of the panels. It was you were in a panel. The panel ended at 6.
Yeah.
The next panel started at 6.
Yeah.
It was on them to be smart enough to stay on.
So there were a couple things wrong with this panel. Not only did they not have, like we were talking about before, enforcers that could enforce, so like the defenders did not defend. You also had people that weren't keeping quite track of their time during their panel, so they kind of ran over, didn't know, maybe weren't warned. At Wizard World, that's the difference between Wizard World and Too Many Games. You had a volunteer come in with like a sign that said like 5 minutes, like wrap it up. So that
just a stop.
Yeah, like I read a stop sign too. Yeah. So it kind of like is timekeeping. It helps with the like administration of the panels.
And you know you have the full 15 minutes.
Yeah.
To be like, oh, we have 50 minutes to get out of here, so the next people come and set up, so you have that, which you didn't have this time.
No, yeah, not at all. I liked it. I liked that every single panel was an hour.
Yeah.
And it always started on the hour, so it was really super easy to remember.
Yeah, there was nowhere 12:30 to 1:15.
And then 1:25 to whatever. Like, it's always hard to like remember, like especially when you're in a convention, trying to remember. Oh, I was supposed to go to something at maybe 3:30. Maybe it was 3:45. I don't exactly remember. But there was pretty much something happening at every hour. Which was nice.
Not a lot of lines, really.
No. Yeah.
The only lines were for the Angry Video Gamer. It was like the headline of the show, and even that wasn't too bad.
No, that took like 15 minutes. It kind of filled up.
Yeah.
After you got in line.
Yeah.
I feel like it went pretty fast.
It was nice us being the last panel because there was no one in the room after us, and they just told us that we could just chill for as long as we wanted.
So we got a chance to talk to people and really connect with them and like get business cards and
answer questions,
things like that.
Now let's talk because there wasn't a whole lot about like cosplay at the convention itself for people that are curious.
So cosplay at the convention itself, it was actually kind of interesting because there was more cosplayers than I actually thought would be there. There was actually some really good cosplayers that were there. Not professional by any means. There weren't any like tabled cosplay famous people.
Yeah.
But there were like some really good costumes there. Nothing that was like blow your mind costumes, but
Lizard Dude was pretty cool.
Lizard Dude was, I think, the best costume we saw. It was a character from Skyrim.
One race that I can never remember.
That looks like a race from EverQuest. Do you guys remember that? You never played EverQuest?
A little bit, way back in the day.
So EverQuest had a lizard character that looks exactly like that guy.
Okay.
But that was fantastic because he had a head that moved when he was talking. The jaw and the head kind of moved as if the actual headpiece was talking.
Yeah. There was some, but the other side of it was, since there wasn't a lot of cosplay there, if you dressed up, people were all about it. They were like, oh my god, you're dressed up, that's so cool, come over here. And people were like, oh my god, come play this game, dressed as this character, which was a little strange, but...
Well, and plus the people that were dressed up really cared about it.
Yeah. The Pokemon trainer was really good too.
Yeah.
That girl.
Yeah, she was really cool. So let's see, we covered the vendors themselves, we covered the panel situation. Oh, let's talk about the panels themselves, the ones that we attended and things. And which ones did you like them? Did you think there was enough content? Was missing something?
Right. So, what was the first panel we went to?
That was...
The one where we went to Scope. That was YouTube.
Yes.
The YouTube panel.
Yeah.
It seemed like a lot of people... It was all fan-run panels.
Yep.
So the one we first attended was the YouTube, like,
growing your audience.
Become a star on YouTube kind of deal. And I wasn't quite sure of kind of like what the purpose of the panel was, per se. It had some good tips in it, but I think it was more, I didn't know who the people were, so it was less impressive to me until he started talking numbers, and he was like, I grew my base from this to this, but that was close to the end, And then I started paying attention and really feeling like he had authority over the subject matter.
Yeah.
So that might have been why I was a little disengaged during that panel. But there were some really good tips in there, especially regarding like thumbnails and the importance of them, and also like the what was really important for me and what I've seen this in like my everyday job is to cut out the fat in your media and just really like focus on keeping people's engagement levels high.
Keep it short.
Yeah, keep it short, keep it simple.
Yeah.
So that was my review.
Yeah, we went to one about the Valiant Comics, which was, again, it was very passionate about the Nintendo comics, but I feel like it dragged on in some spots.
Yeah.
But overall, the knowledge was there, and it was interesting. I went to a panel Friday night for Newt from Underbelly, which was a very interesting panel, and there will be footage of that going up at some point. But it was new, I guess. I'll just leave it at that. It was happy and sometimes depressing at others. And we did the tail end of the Angry Video Game Nerd panel, which we can talk a little bit more when we talk about the after party, because we kind of we got that already.
It was a good after party.
Yeah, so I think... Oh, there was, just real quick, there was... Right.
Yeah, left.
Okay.
You don't want to act like
Yeah, alright. There was food on location.
Food!
But...
At the after party?
Well, I'm talking at
just panel.
But the lines were, there's one vendor.
Yeah.
And the line was like huge 90% of the time.
Watch, they have to...
Yeah. So we didn't bother, that's why we went out to get something to eat, because it didn't seem to matter when we went to get food.
Yeah, it was always full.
It was like, you could see where the end of the line was.
It didn't move very fast.
No, and you paid con prices. It was $2.50 for a bottle of water. So that was fun. But yeah, let's move on to the after party. Now, this was an interesting situation because the way it was structured was you had different package levels. You had like your 1-day pass, I think a 2-day pass, your all-weekend pass, you had the mini boss package, which got you some swag, and then the final boss package, which was $100 for the whole weekend. Got you a special messenger bag, a t-shirt, exclusive raffles, and then guaranteed access to this after party. Now, this was sold out for several days prior to the convention starting. But you were supposed to get in if you were a guest. Vendor got into the after party. Was it this?
Just goes, stay straight. Because those are both exits.
All the 12-year-old defenders were there.
Yeah. So we originally, when I got my badge, you won't be able to see it, with the sticker underneath it, but I got a panelist badge, and both of the girls here got guest badges.
So, the interesting thing about checking in as a panelist, the person was sitting there and they said, "Oh, what are you here for?" And you said, "Oh, we were here for SheWolf Cosplays, we have a panel." And there was no, like, check-off or ID check. It was literally, here's your here's your badge.
They didn't even ask names.
Yeah.
Yeah, stage 176 East.
Yeah. So, basically, if you said you were in a panel,
you probably could have
gotten in for free. Also, the layout, you probably could have gotten into any of the panels for free. Just to walk past the panel halls and check in. So if you just wanted to go to the panel, you could have just walked into the panel and just hung out.
We didn't get checked at all today.
No, not once. So, but yeah, I got a panelist badge. They got guest badges. Guests get into the after party. Panelists do not. But then I wonder who were panelists, because every person that ran a panel was in the after party.
Yeah. Yeah.
So...
Did they buy their own guest badges?
I don't think so.
I don't know. But anyway, it was an exclusive after party, and the reason it was exclusive, I think, is because they didn't cater it, and you didn't get food for free. You got hamburgers, hot dogs, pasta salad.
Cake was good.
Chips, cake.
Sweet tea. No water. No water.
Or iced tea. No water for free.
Which was weird, because after a full day at a convention,
you should have water.
You should have water.
And then they had a cash bar. The cash bar also sold water.
Bottles of water. Which were probably $2.50 con prices.
Yeah, probably. So, you know, they didn't have enough seats for everybody.
Not even remotely.
Not even close.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were standing or leaning or sitting.
But that could have been because all the panelists were giving guest badges.
Maybe. Then the show started off with the opening act, which was Uncle Dubsy and the Snow Dogs, which probably one of the best parts of the whole night. They were a great band. They played awesome music. They played things like the beats from the cartoon show Doug, and they played G.I. Joe theme song and wrestling theme songs and stuff like that. And the lights were on.
Which was very strange because this was very shortly after you got let in, and there were some tables where people were eating at.
Yeah.
And this poor band is playing with the lights on, and people completely focused on food.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, like, a couple of people were dancing in the front.
Yeah, it kind of got moshy.
You're gonna go.
But then it was supposed to be a DJ battle.
Yeah.
That's what they touted as this DJ battle between Kevin, Villette, and Pixelator, and then it was going to be Ben Briggs versus DJ Cutman. Now, this was supposed to be like a battle, but that no one told us that it changed. So what they did was cut the lights in the room, which is in a garage. So there's no light coming in anywhere else.
Yeah.
And so it's pitch black, and we only have the stage lights. The poor guy running the drinks in the bar had no light. People are there with their cell phone lights helping him to be able to buy their drinks.
Yeah.
And then we had Pixelator come on. It just went in order with Pixelator, Kevin Villette, Ben Briggs, and then DJ Cutman.
Again, that's like expectation setting. They should have, when they announced the first person, like kind of given a little bit of explanation as to how things were going to go.
Yeah.
Like just context setting would have been helpful there, so that we weren't like, when are they battling? How are they battling? How are they scoring this?
Yeah, because we're like, maybe they'll come out and play like a song each, so we get like a heads up for their background. But then
They turned it into full sets.
yeah, and then like some of them weren't that good. Like they were slower.
Yeah.
People wanted to dance, and that just didn't happen. So, I mean, it got good at the end. People were dancing and were moshing.
I think at the point
whooping.
Ben Briggs came on, then he was.
Yeah, he really pumped people up a lot. He gave us very sweaty hugs.
Yes, he does.
I
I went for a high five, and I got a high five, and then he's like, "Come in, bring it in." So he's like really sweaty.
Actually, I spoke to DJ Cutman today, and we learned. I saw that, Zan. We actually learned today that they were planning on actually doing a battle. This is but apparently everybody else just what do you say they just got there like the day of,
and I don't think they had time to
like
set up and kind of get everything ready for that kind of setup. Like you probably would have had to have two separate setups with different speaker switches.
Yeah, whatever their inputs are, however that works.
You're gonna go.
But either way, it was still good. I just would have preferred to have, what we were sort of promised. And then after that, we had the Angry Video Game Nerd. We got to watch the first 2 episodes ever in their original VHS quality on like a VHS tape from back in the day, which was interesting. We were talking about it earlier, that it was episode 1, which was Simon's Quest, followed by Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and then it cut into the dating game. They recorded off a TV.
That was a flash to the past. Remembering that VHSs do that you tape stuff over stuff.
And when they started, they had to rewind it.
Yeah. Oh, that was funny.
They weren't in at the beginning, which was pretty cool. Then we got a Q&A with the Angry Video Game Nerd, but it was only about 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, they had to rush it because it took so long.
Yeah, it was supposed to go 7 to 11. The DJ battles hadn't even finished at 11 o'clock. So it ended up going to 1 o'clock in the morning was when it finally ended.
Was it really 1 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
It was 1 o'clock.
We got home at 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah. But it was cool because all the DJs and everybody were just hanging out in the crowd and trying to pump people up.
Yeah.
Which was kind of nice.
Well, the weird thing about the way they structured the Angry Video Game Nerds 10th anniversary was that they had like 3 intro people that both had a speech apiece.
Yeah.
So it felt very insidery, like it was very exclusive after party type thing. There was like kind of some background.
Yeah. It was
that was interesting.
Bad Luck Bootsy and Mike Matei, which are his 2 friends that do they do Jam and Mike Mondays and all these different things on the Cinemassacre channel. And then they had I can't remember his name, the guy who sings the theme song.
The dude that sings the theme song?
Yeah.
That's his name?
That's the dude. Is it this way?
Yeah, turn right.
And he actually sang us the theme song, but he sang the full version of the theme song, which I never actually heard, which after party. So, how did it compare to other convention after parties? I'm asking you.
So, I found that most convention after parties are not worthwhile.
Yes.
They are either like Wizard World last week, not in theme with the convention. That after party was hosted at the Trocadero and had a lot of weird, can I say, ghetto music going on. Whereas this kind of after party was very focused on video game music and like the kinds of music that people would actually listen to that would go to the convention.
Alright, well, anyway, you were saying...
So, I was talking about the after party. So, I wouldn't have taken that leap of faith to buy the special package and get exclusive access to the after party because of the previous setup notion that all convention after parties suck that are official. Like, everyone that I've ever attended has been pretty horrible. But this one was actually really good.
Would you, knowing that now, if you didn't get in panel, would you pay for it next year?
Yeah, depending on the price, I would definitely pay for it next year. Because like I said, I really enjoy chiptune music in general. You're gonna have to. So, recapping, I would definitely pay for it again.
Okay. Yeah, I was a fan, and I don't typically party, and I definitely
or after
party. But this was more my style. It was more like my kind of music. The people were more my kind of people, meaning they can't dance. We learned a cool new Mega Man. Up and down, up and down. Thanks to Benjamin Briggs. That was a pretty awesome move we learned.
The convention was very good. It was very good. I liked it.
Those were very in-depth final thoughts, and I appreciate you.
Honestly, because of the size of the convention, it was a nice medium-sized convention. It was not too busy, and it was not too large. It wasn't too small either, because there was a couple of panels, some things to do, there was games set up. I really liked it personally because I hate waiting in lines. Hate it so much. And this convention, I never had to wait in a line. So that's my final thought.
Okay, Sarah,
my final thought was actually pretty similar. I feel like there was plenty to do, but it wasn't overwhelming.
Okay.
And I feel like you mentioned something before about not having to pay for certain autographs and things like that. I think as far as like price goes, this was a very reasonable convention to go to.
Yeah, and I would say that again, it's nice to get into a convention for free, and then be able to get things like the signature from the headliner as part of the getting in. Like, It was a little misorganized, which I guess I should touch on that. He had a booth, like we normally have, like a celebrity has at a convention, where you sit, and that's usually where you go up and pay for your pictures and your signing, and then you have where the panel was. And I had the forethought to go, okay, well, I don't need to see the question and answer, we were in one already. So I went up and asked the guy, I was like, so is he coming to sign here? And the guy said, no, he's signing in the panel room. So I went into the panel, I was like, well, we better get in there. So, like, the panel ended, and people bum rushed the door to get out. And then they're like, okay, we're going to sign back at the booth. And I was like, that guy lied to me.
Yeah, he was so mad.
I was very mad.
Your face.
And then, like, we
Your
started...
eyes darkened.
Yeah, eyes darkened. So we start to walk out to leave, and then all of a sudden they go, oh, I'm sorry, we've just been informed that it is going to be here in the panel. So, like...
A couple of people booked it out of the
panel.
panel.
A bunch of people left. And we were, like, standing in the line. They're like, let's make a line. So then, like, everybody ran to the side to get in the line, rather than, like, lining up in the center like we had done. So I actually got further up in the line that way.
Because me and Sarah scored you a sweet spot.
You guys are great.
Yeah.
But,
that was the organization representation.
I actually heard somebody come in and go, hey, I don't know if you know, to, like, the Angry Video Game Nerd, to James Rolfe, go, like, I don't know if you know, but there's a bunch of people waiting, like, at your booth for you to be there.
Oh, no.
And that's why, like, we had everybody, and then all of a sudden the doors open and people flooded in.
Yeah.
That like, 100 or so people that came in, they were waiting at the booth.
Sucks.
And, like, just...
They probably had a sweet spot, too.
Because, yeah, they ran right out. Because, like, I was ready to just, like, oh, it's 3:45, I'll just chill at his booth, be the first one here, and be done. So that could have been better organized. They had a sound system where they were announcing things, but they also had chiptune music playing from DJ Cutman on the right, and, like, that group, the Game Chops people. Then they had the garage area where the music was playing.
Yeah.
And then they had the person, like, on the microphone.
I didn't even realize that they were announcing things.
Yeah, they were announcing the raffles and whenever new panels and things were happening. And you just couldn't hear it because there was so much music and things. And, like, if you didn't shut the doors to the panel rooms, the close one, you could hear the music. So you couldn't even hear the panelists. But overall, a good convention, and I would go back.
And as disorganized as a whole as it was, the individual people who were helping run it and everything were very nice, and they were as accommodating as they could possibly be, I think.
Yeah, no, Too Many Games was great. Especially just a little story. Our sweet Ghostbuster friend over here got in tight with the PR person, and they kept tweeting out our information for our panel. So I think that helped with getting a good crowd, because we went to another panel where there was only like 5 people.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was...
Yeah, so moral of the story is, if you're going to run a panel, find whoever has the official Twitter or Facebook account and have them tweet at you. Give them all your flyers, let them go hang them up in the bathrooms.
Let them, they want your panel to be successful, because they want their, programming to be useful and content driven. So just reach out to them. Can everyone look at how cute this squirrel is? It's so cute.
What's in front of the car? Oh, there.
There's a bunch of cute squirrels, and they're just hanging out. And I have to pee so bad.
Alright, we're going to end this. So thanks again, guys, and we'll see you next time.